Hi everyone, Sandra from ForYourChi.com again, here with your weekly tarot card reading for Monday, October 2nd, 2017 through October 8th, 2017. And this is the week of the full moon that I was talking about last week, the full moon doozy. And that's October 5th, so everyone needs to sort of put your seatbelts on, just beware. If you're feeling upset, angry, emotional, that's why. It's going to pass. You're going to have to take it easy with other people because they're going to be feeling upset, angry, and emotional, and you're going to have some empathy and understanding, which is difficult, and I struggle with this myself. The other thing that I wanted to mention to you was the last card for this past weekend for last week's reading was the transition card. And that is traditionally the death card in the tarot. Now, as I was hearing from some of you on Facebook last week, this past weekend and this week, you were actually experiencing, a lot of you, the end of relationships, the end of a job opportunity, and 2 of you were actually at funerals. And although that is the death card, that particular card means death at its extreme. So in an extreme circumstance, it can mean that somebody passes away, okay? So, but I promise you that no one exits this planet under any circumstances without some type of an agreement first. Now, this can be a soul agreement. It can be contracted that you exit early. Or it can be a soul agreement that you have just recently contracted because your life isn't going as planned, you're not happy, etc., and the soul wants out. So I'm talking about in circumstances other than straight up someone committing suicide intentionally, okay? So let's talk about that just for a brief moment, because some people tell me, well, how can that be karmically contracted? You know, the person didn't want to leave, or they said they didn't want to leave. There are multiple parts that make up the human being, the human existence. The first part is your soul, not necessarily in that order. First part is your soul. Part 2 is your body, which is its own separate entity. Then you have the God aspect of yourself. And you have other things too. You have your conscious mind, you have your ego. The ego is not present 24/7 because when you're sleeping, it's not around, okay? So, but let's go back to the 3 major parts. Your body, your soul, and your God self. In the womb, you made an agreement that you all were going to take care of each other. The body was going to take care of the soul. The soul was going to take care of the body. The God part of you would fill up what's missing, fill up the blank, so to speak. Now, as we're living our lives, your body is having impulses every day. These are natural impulses. Perhaps it wants chocolate. Perhaps I had one instance where a guy wasn't getting enough sex in his life, so he wanted more, and he wasn't doing anything about it. And so his body said, okay, you know, you're choosing to deprive me. I'm going to fix you. I'm going to manifest some extreme body circumstances that you are going to have to deal with. And so he eventually got cancer. The immune system broke down. He was sick for several months. And all of a sudden, he was in a bunch of doctor's offices with tests and biopsies, etc. Now, if he had made a different choice to bring forth what he wanted, which was more sex, okay, he would have had a different outcome. Now, we have to be reasonable about this because everything needs to be balanced, right? So It's not about going out and taking major risks, okay? You have to be smart about this. It's not about eating chocolate 3 times a day, because that too is unbalanced. So we have to have a balance, and we have to be responsible in bringing forth a balance. So it's very delicate, and I promise you, your body, I have some smart Alex out there, okay? So your body is not going to want a 6-pack of beer every single day. It is not going to want Percocet. It is not going to want heroin. It is not going to want an orgy, okay? So we have to be responsible about bringing in the balance. Now, if you have a question about what your body wants, you can do a simple muscle test. You can muscle test just about anything: food, drink, supplements. Put a small amount in your hand, say if it's a multivitamin. Put the vitamin in the palm of your hand and close your hand, whatever handed you are. If you're right-handed, fine, put it in your right hand. If you're left-handed, put it in your left hand. Stand up straight, have someone behind you, and hold that left arm out with your fist closed and the substance in your hand. Have the person behind you try to push your hand or arm down. The stronger that your muscles are able to hold up your hand, the more your body needs that substance or object or whatever. Now, if your arm is weak, the body doesn't want that substance. And you can do a placebo test by putting a few granules of white sugar or any kind of sugar that you have laying around the house in the palm of the hand and test it the same manner as soon as you test for that supplement or vitamin or food or whatever you're going to test. Because you will find that the body is not strong when it's holding those granules of sugar, but it's strong when it's holding something else that you need, like a probiotic, okay? So it's very, very, very important that you're bringing forth the balance of what your body and soul are requiring that you may be ignoring every day. So don't ignore it. I'm all about learning from other people's experience so that you don't have to learn the hard way. I don't like learning things the hard way. I don't want you to have to learn things the hard way, okay? So sorry for the speech, but I feel like I have to get this out there because the more information, knowledge is power, right? Okay, so let's talk about the first card for this week. All right. So it is going to be a rough week. I'm not going to lie. You can totally manage it. Just giving you a little heads up. Your first card is conflict and defeat. So we've had this card before, although not recently, in months past. This card means walk away from any conflicts or arguments, particularly because the other person isn't hearing any type of logic that's coming out of your mouth. So it's just better to walk away and say, you know what, I can't talk about this now. I don't have time. Let's pick this back up tomorrow or Wednesday or later on in the week or even in an hour. Sometimes an hour or two makes a difference because you're diffusing the emotions that are involved in that, okay? Midweek, you have temptation. So this is traditionally the devil card in traditional tarot. All right, not fun, not pretty. 75% of the time, this card means alcoholic or addict. So if you know an alcoholic or an addict, you may hear from them midweek, or they may knock on your door and say, can I crash on your couch? Okay. This is not a good thing. I would definitely not offer to do or help anyone in this circumstance because it's bringing problems on yourself. Okay, so I'm not saying you can't help them. I'm just saying I wouldn't because you're asking for more trouble. Now you can call around and find a place for them to go or help them out that way, but definitely don't offer to help them. Don't let them borrow any money. This person may steal from you because they're involved in other things that are not good, substances, okay? And this is also a warning to, if for those of you that are single, Pay attention to who you meet midweek and keep them at arm's length. This is not somebody that you would be interested in dating. Not a good idea. It causes trouble. You'd just rather not. Okay, so the card for the weekend, the waiting game. So I love this card because it does mean patience. However, after a period of patience, success is assured. Can't beat that, right? So in other words, not right now, but later, yes, definitely. So just be patient, just a little extra time, and you're going to get what you're asking for. You're going to get the answer to your prayer, okay? As long as you have faith, of course. And I wanted to pull one more card today from the Mermaids and Dolphins deck. This is one of my favorite decks. I pull from this every day, Doreen Virtue. So we're going to see what card we get for this week. Okay, this is great. This is exactly what you needed. So you've asked for help, you've prayed for help, and now you're getting help. Because heaven is working behind the scenes to help you in your desire and the answer to your prayers. So when you feel trouble coming this week because of the full moon or whatever, another person, call on help. Help is available to you, and it's going to start working right away. All right? So thank you so much for tuning in to this week's reading. I greatly appreciate you. If you desire a personal phone reading, please send me an email at foryourchi@gmail.com. It's foryourchi@gmail.com. And please send me some feedback both on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks so much, everybody. Fasten your seatbelts. Have a great week.